Welcome to the January School of Facilitation pod. So the way it flows, more people, let's keep letting them in. The way it's going to flow is I'm going to read a poem in a moment, and the invitation is for you to just sit, relax, look out a window, look to middle distance, do whatever you need to do, close your eyes, turn your laptop, turn your computer camera off, not your laptop off. And then there'll be a couple of minutes of silence. And the reason behind all of that is just to allow us all the opportunity to arrive to ground and start to connect with the others who are in the room. So the other invitation is, if you've only got me on the screen, maybe pop on gallery view for a moment and just notice all the other awesome people in the School of Facilitation community who have popped in this morning to arrive into the new calendar year. So I've turned to one of my favourite poets who I discovered about 1.5 years ago. So this is by John Riddell. And this is what he wrote. Here is what I would tell my 9-year-old self. Lean into who you are. Embrace it. Don't waste time trying to fit yourself into a box that was built for you. Compare yourself to no one. Trying to live your life to meet the expectations of other people would be an absolute train wreck. Once you let go of trying to be like everyone else, your real life will begin. Grab a hold of your dreams and hang on tight. Some days the ride will give you motion sickness, and some days it may make you giggle like a lunatic. Either way, it will be an adventure. P.S. Don't believe them. You'll never use algebra in the real world. So sit back now, take the time you need. I'll hold the space for us, and maybe pop yourself on mute as well. Thank you. As you come back into the space, take a couple of really deep breaths, the best breaths you've taken all day today. Maybe a little stretch, a little wiggle. Welcome. So how are we all doing? Feel free to pop in the chat box. And as my lovely friend Patrick, who's just on my left on the screen, would say, how are you really? Exactly, he's there already. How are you really? It's a new year, and I was reflecting back to where we were this time last year. And I don't know about you, but I really feel a difference in the energy. And what I mean by that is last year's energy of January, I really felt like I was go, go, go. I had to get things sorted. It was like we were being told that the pandemic was sort of shifting. We were, if any of you want to remember that time. For us Brits, we were still restricted on a bit of travel. For the French closed their borders to us. Testing galore to go anywhere. But it felt like, the energy of get going. Whereas this year, oh man alive, totally the opposite. I feel slow. I have no desire to get going or rushing anywhere. I've been sick. I've had a stomach bug all this week, which has driven me nuts because I was like, yeah, I've got a clear week. I've got loads of things I can be getting on with for my clients. And that's really sort of pulled me back. And then those of you who know me know, every now and then I have a look at what's going on in the stars and the astrology. And so today is the full moon for this month in January, and it's called a Cancer moon. It's a Cancer full moon, and it's also called the wolf moon, or a cold or a hard moon, which I sort of is a representation of the nature and of what is going on around us. So for those of us in the northern hemisphere, if you look out your window right now, where I am in the UK, there's a bit of sunshine today, which is a treasure. I can't say it's cold though, because we're sitting in very strange times when it comes to our climate, so it's quite mild. But definitely the energy of this moon, and I wrote down some notes and I thought I'd share them with you because I'm just curious how others, and I'm seeing coming through in the chat, people have got a struggle to get back, or there's some tired heaviness. I don't think our energy is necessarily go at this time, and that is okay. Just because we're seeing flashing around LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook goal setting and where are you going in 2023, if you look at nature, she's still asleep, team. She's having a little cat nap that's going to last for another 6 weeks at least. Now, she is also, if you've noticed, if you have a little look outside, there are shoots coming through. You may have noticed some bulbs, especially the snowdrops, have started to peek through. So she is doing something, but she's not like mega energetic and throwing out all her energy. So I sort of encourage us to think the same in some ways. Like, you don't have to be going bonkers right now and going hell for leather. And if you look at the energy of a Cancer moon, one, it's a water sign. You might have some Cancerians in here, who knows? So it says here, on one hand, we're seeking a need to achieve, and on the other hand, a need to just be. So you're sitting on that polarity of, do I have to go out and achieve? Actually, I just want to be. So I think that's a really interesting noticing, and it's how we balance the two. The Cancer energy is one of nurturer and putting self-care in the spotlight. So many of us feeling that desire or have been pulling that go slow. That's true. Like, put self-care, put yourself first. So what are you doing to help yourself at this time? Is it a bath? Is it a massage? Is it a quiet walk? Even if it's for just 20 minutes, but something for you that gives you that self-care. And interestingly, this full moon also invites us to detox, whichever parts of our lives need a bit of a looking at, a bit of a declutter. So is that health, relationships, mental, physical, or emotional? And I'm wondering as well if anyone's starting to notice any patterns of behavior that are just popping back through again. And maybe you haven't noticed them before. And so it's like, oh man, I remember this. I call it the washing machine mode. It's when you put things on a spin cycle. And sometimes that spin cycle is super slow and you don't recognize it. And then other times it sort of speeds up and then you're like, oh yeah, I get that. I notice this pattern of behavior coming through. So today, I was very much clear, like, we could rush forwards and start setting goals and setting intentions. And then I realized we don't need to, because many of you know we've got the intention setting session on the 20th of January. And now I'm wondering if I put it there because this session needs to be maybe about what are the things we need to let go at this time to make some space to allow what it is that needs to come into 2023 can come. Because if we don't make space physically, mentally, or emotionally, you're like a computer building up all of your energy. Like, you just keep layering on and layering on new ideas, new goals, new thoughts, new books in the bookshelf. and it starts to get too big and overwhelming. There's a phrase I learned, I don't do this, but there's apparently you should defrag your computer every now and then. Anyone know this? Some of the techie ones in this room might nod, others might go, heard the word, no idea how to do it. But apparently what that does is it clears out any, help me out here, data that you don't need, any anything that's unused. Feel free to talk to me, anyone who's going, Kirsty, you're making hash in this bit.
Just stuff, Kirsty. Just gets rid of the stuff that we don't need. Yeah, that's technical.
Yes, and I think about defragging me and defragging my brain. And so what I would invite us to do today is do a bit of defragging of ourselves to enable us to then set some really clear intentions. So many of you have probably already done, and if you were with us in December, we looked at 2022. So you've done the reflection piece of 2022. And I'm pretty sure some of you have started to noodle around what's 2023 going to bring. Some of you may have even written your goals or your intentions. Has anyone done that? And there's no right or wrong here, by the way. I'm just curious. Oh, Nick, a defrag reorganizes your drive to move all the used bits together and leave a nice clear space to build in. My intention was there. Anyone done any of the planning yet? I've done a lot of physical decluttering. I've revisited my values. I've started with aims. Yeah, for that to my goals. I hear you, Rachel. So today we're going to do a bit of defragging, if you're up for that. It's a bit more gentle than just sitting here and go all in on goals and setting, and also just from a time perspective. So tell me how your energy is today. I'm really curious. So either put in the chat box on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am on it, I'm ready to go and I'm all out buzzing, and 1 being I'm lying vertically on the floor right now, listening to you with a blankie over me. And feel free to speak as well.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being all out, feeling fantastic, ready to roll, and 1 being I'm lying on the floor with a blanket over me, just listening. And actually, you probably wouldn't even put 1 because you're lying on the floor just listening. So we've got a lot. I think everyone's in a middle. We've got some 8s like that, but quite a few 4, 5, 6, 7s. Okay, we're going to do it really easy. I had loads of questions in typical Kirsty style, and then I was like, I then found 3. And I think we'll start with those 3. So the way it's going to flow, team, if you're up for this, I'm going to ask you 3 questions and give you time to obviously reflect, write down, notice, however you'd like to do your noticing. For some of you, it might be doodling. For some of you, like to write in your favorite notebook. Others of you might want to just sit there, reflect. If you're a Lego series player, you might have your Lego to hand, or a bit of plasticine, you want to build something, feel free. Or draw, whatever it is. And then after we've done the questions, we'll go into pairs and just have a chat. And obviously, you only share what you want to share, or chat about what you want to chat about. How does that sound? Are we up for that? I'm just scanning the screens. There's too many of you now. It's great. I've got 3 pages to look through. I feel very honoured. Okay, so question, and I'll write the questions in the chat box as well. So for those of you who like to read as well as to listen, we can do both. Okay, question number 1. What are you now willing to let go of? Become your true, authentic self. So maybe it's a belief, something, an object, all of that pile of junk that you've been storing under the stairs that now needs to go to the tip. Very satisfying, may I say. What are you willing to let go of to become your true, authentic self? Okay, question number 2. What is no longer true for you or even serving you? Slight variation on that first question, but what is no longer true or serving you? Okay, question number 3. One we all love and roll our eyes at, but no, it's true. What is in the way of you stepping into your most authentic self and feeling at home with who you are? So what is stopping you? I saw that raised eye, Sam Warner. What's stopping you? Okay. I've just put a cheeky second final question in. As you look around your workspace, or if you're not in your physical workspace, just think about it. What can you physically let go of? What do you no longer use? What could you repurpose and gift to someone else? I'm looking faces of horror going on around here. Is there a pile of paper that's been sat on your desk forever that you've done nothing with? A bit of physical decluttering. Thanks, Nick Barr. Have a think. What is there physically? And this is often, I think, an even harder one. What can I throw away or regift? Repurpose.
Is it cheating if I say the Christmas tree?
Yes, it is, Dan.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if you find yourself coming up with those cheeky little comments in your head, write them down. Say thank you to your mind, but also then say, what are you hiding from me right now? What do I really know to be true about my physical space? Sue Llewellyn, I see you nodding. Lara, I've been ruthlessly decluttering. It does feel amazing. Okay, team. Hey, in a moment, you're going to open up the breakout rooms. Oh my God, Jamie's giving away all her novels to a charity shop. I've done that before. I had to say goodbye to the books quite physically because I love a good book. Many people nodding at this point as well. So the Zoom gods are going to work their magic and you're going to be popped into a room. You may know the person, you may not. So do say hello to them and make some connection. Who are you? Where are you? Because I don't think everyone's in the UK necessarily. Well, I know they're not. We're going to take 15 minutes and then, yeah, have a chat. So you can talk about what you want. If you want to share any noticings, you don't have to share your intimate thoughts with this person. You might find it easier to talk to a stranger. Who knows? But just have a conversation about this concept of defragging, detoxing, decluttering, giving yourself some space to see what comes. And if anyone's leaving right now, don't worry, I will sort out the rooms. Anyway, you'll get an invite on your screen right now. And off you go. Francesco, Ali, are you joining us? Lara, let me just, oh, Ali's gone. Francesco, where are you? Okay, Bev, I was going to chat with you.
Likewise, Patrick.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So, as we normally do after we've come back from a conversation, it'd be lovely just to hear some noticing. So what is it like to slow down? What is it like to pause and reflect? Maybe what is it like to do a bit of detoxing, defragging? So feel free to write in the chat box, and it really would be lovely to hear some voices in the room. So who'd like to share? And you don't just jump in. You're all grown up enough to look around the screens to see who might be chatting before you.
Go on, I'll start.
Go on, Sam.
I was chatting with Catherine, and we discovered that we have a similar
connection with the earth and how we live our lives in unison with the earth, you know, like the solstices and things like that. It's just really cool to meet someone on your same level, that wavelength. And actually for me, goal setting is about spring, because that's the birth of everything. Everything's springing into action. I'm still in winter mode, so I'm still in let's look after my health, let's get lots of sleep. I'm not in let's make goals mode. So I'm not going to beat myself up about that, because that's what lots of people are doing. I'm going to get myself in good shape, ready for spring, when I will be motivated to make all my goals.
I love that. And what you say is true, Sam, in that spring, like we come back to life, there is that energy sensation. Also, astrologically, the start of an astrological year is with Aries, which is late March, early April, if that's your thing. So interesting, huh? And so if you are feeling that need to slow, ground, still be cozied up with a fire and not rushing around, you're just playing to nature, which is bloody normal. So yes, as you say, Sam, don't beat yourself up. And isn't it lovely how we meet people at the right time? The Zoom gods do work their magic quite well, I have to say. Patrick taught me that, Zoom gods. Who else fancies putting their voice in the room?
I just want to say hello. My name is Karen Maguire. It's my first session.
Hey,
so
Karen.
thank you, Carly Tyso, for putting on LinkedIn that you were attending this session. Carly and I work together. So it was great to see that this group even exists. So there you go. We have LinkedIn gods as well as Zoom gods. But interestingly, I was paired up with Chris Thorne, who we're both American. So interestingly, Chris and I have that background. So it was really great to start off the first 5 minutes, I guess, of the call, just talking about our backgrounds a little bit. So it was good. We've got a lot in common as well. So
love it.
Tell them about the bracelet, Karen.
Okay.
The lunar bracelet.
Yeah, so I said I knew it was a full moon. So the reason I knew it was a full moon is because I wear this bracelet. This is I can't remember the what it's made from. I don't know if anybody in the room knows anything about crystals and that kind of stuff. I will have wrote it down somewhere. It's not black onyx, but it's something that looks a bit like black onyx. Anyway, what this does is it protects you from, as I described to Chris, this protects you from evil people. So what you have to do is you have to stick it under the full moon every month, and then it gets full of lunar energy, and it protects you. So I do meditation and I let the light in, and then it comes through me and all that kind of stuff. So by charging the bracelet every month, I find it helps me to have the strength to deal with all the negative people in your world, all the drains.
Karen, thank you. Words coming up: obsidian, black tourmaline.
Black tourmaline, possibly. Yeah,
that's quite a fragile one.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what I'm loving is more and more of us feeling, it's okay to talk about what I call the woo, and it's not necessarily something we go into our corporates with, but I do think they need to start to know as well that there is this other awesome set of ways of living and being and working that have supported us for hundreds of thousands of years. And I can see on my screen Victoria, Smith Murphy, I know what you do, Sue, I can see Loretta, and I can see you smiling and nodding at me. Patrick, that's one of your things as well. It's okay, we can just weave it in a way that supports and guides our clients. I'm loving all the sharing going on that's going up on the screen about moon diaries, or moonology is quite a good and interesting one, and resurgence and the tarot. Anyone else, what do they notice just having that conversation?
Hello everybody.
Hey Claire.
Would it be all right to share that my company is 3 years old, and I always forget, and I just wondered if it would be all right to celebrate that with everybody.
Happy birthday. You've made it.
Yay.
3 years is the achievement. Now you're indestructible. Once you get to 3 years, you're good. It's the first 3 years that's the hardest. It's a bit like becoming a millionaire. Once you get your first million, the rest are easy, right? That's what they say about the company. Once you get to 3 years, you're done. You're good.
I love that. And you lived and you survived, Claire, through probably one of the toughest periods for all of us, mentally, emotionally, physically, and within our businesses. So even more gold stars to put on your shoulder, and notice the for chat as well, what's going on.
Yeah, so thank you for having these sessions and the amazing people. And Dan, hi, I'll catch up with you soon. And all the amazing people that I've met, and Michelle, who I met today, and we've got the same jumpers on. So thank you so much. Thank you.
I love it. Okay, anyone else? The benefit of just pausing and slowing and detoxing.
Lorraine and I spoke about defragging, about cluttering, but one of the things I've learned is to, rather than let the shit build up, if you'll excuse the expression, and then decluttering it, is just recognizing it before. So more proactive rather than reactive approach. You know me, that goes 100 miles an hour everywhere. Is just take that time just to say, right, hang on, what am I actually doing? And what's the result of this? So rather than letting it build up and actually actively building it up unnecessarily, taking that time to say, do I need to put that there?
Yeah. It's interesting. Bev and I were just having a chat as well, mix up all the breakout rooms, and we were saying it's interesting that when you slow down, what comes up, and often the stuff we don't want to notice comes up, doesn't it? The emotion, the sort of thoughts that aren't really appealing to us, and giving yourself that space and that quiet. And I was sort of hypothesizing that the reason many of us fill our time, fill our space, is so that we can ignore those moments and ignore those thoughts and ignore the physical realities of what is true. So
it's almost like you listened into mine and Lorraine's conversation there, because that's exactly what we said.
Was it?
The fact that we're just hiding from stuff, yeah. And rather than accepting that it's there and the leading indicators that are there, we'll do something else. We'll be right.
Yeah, exactly. And I did write some notes for today. You'd be pleased to know.
Can I just share while you're finding your notes? So from what you've just been saying, Dan, people who have a real cluttering problem, one that actually becomes a risk problem, etc., often comes from trauma, and it's so you can see how what we're talking about is linked, and that clutter and everything is keeping us hidden from whatever it is that's going on for us. So I just wanted to share that, because I've got a friend who is a counsellor in the fire service and works with people who have particular problems with clutter that means it's actually a fire risk. You can hardly get through the door. So I just wanted to share that and think about the real link there between our emotions and clutter.
It's interesting, and there's a whole psychology around that as well, isn't there?
I just got, Kirsty, when you said about hiding and we're noticing that we're hiding from clutter, I just got the irony of the background I use to hide from myself the reality of this room. And I've just basically just got that's exactly what's going on. Is I'm just like, no, everything's fine. Look how clean and tidy everything is behind me. So long as I don't look, oh God,
Yeah. Thanks, Nick.
Very metaphorical.
It is, and thank you for sharing that. So I'm pretty much the same. You can just see my bookshelf, but what you don't see is, Kat Hass would be having an absolute epileptic fit in my room right now. She'd be wanting to tidy it up and clear it. The only best thing I have done, so I have very few piles of paper anymore, a little advert for the Remarkable, and I know many of you started to move to a Remarkable. Amy, Kat, there's a few others who've gone and got them. So this is an electronic notepad. Best investment I made in 2021 ever. Best investment. We'll do a session on that another time. Is it worth it? Yes, I would say so. I now can find all my client notes and meetings, and I can put them in folders, and it links to the into an app. I can download, upload, sync right all over it. And I don't really care that no one else can read my handwriting, so that's quite good. So, having done this session today, so pre-Christmas, if you came to the December session, we talked about reflection and we looked at 2022. So today has been about doing a bit of clearing, noticing and slowing down. One of the things that we were playing with in the SOF collective in the last 2 years was around quarterly intention setting. And so this is something that we're now putting out into the world. So it's not just with the membership. And on the 20th of this month, we're hosting the first of the intention setting sessions. So what it is a 2-hour session. It's a Friday morning, 9 till 11 UK. It's split over 2 hours, in that the first hour is a reflection of the last quarter. And then the second hour is a look forward to where do I want to go next? What's happening in the next quarter? And the reason I created this, as most things, is from a space of necessity, in that I wasn't giving myself time to do a bit of reflection and planning. And so putting this in on a quarterly basis has just helped me give myself time to pause. And if we're really honest, and some of the group who are on here today, you probably say 3 hours is what we need, but let's start with 2. So the invitation is on the 20th. This is a free session. So if you want to come along, all you need to do is sign up. So if you just go through the chat and my last comment there, oh, and Amy shared it again, thank you. It's there. Miranda, you've just asked, is it recorded? No. And the reason it's not recorded is, guess what? Over half the time you're sitting in silence reflecting. So it's a bit of a boring recording. And also there is something about doing it live and doing it with others. So the session, whilst you do a lot of reflecting on your own, you then have some periods of time within there to work in a pair and just share your noticings, celebrate what you want to celebrate, bring forward anything that you're like, oh yeah, this is what I want to work on. Now, some of you might go, I have my own process, absolutely fine. But if you want a space and a community to do it in, come hither. And for those of you who are like, I like the idea, but I wouldn't know what to do when I'm there, fret not. Even I am getting better at crafting some questions, and we'll put those questions into the room so that you can use those to help you. So if you want to come, you would be so welcome. As it says, here's the link. That's happening on the 20th of January. So it'd be lovely to see you there. Other things just to be aware of, dates for your diary, just to get them in. Obviously the pods happen on the first Friday of every month. The next session, the first Friday of February, which is the 3rd, I've got an awesome guest. She's called Lucy Wheeler. She's my lawyer, but she does loads of work with people like us to help our businesses be legally secure and help us understand what do we need to know from a compliance, a legal perspective. And I wish I'd worked with someone earlier on certain things. So if that is of interest, again, it will be recorded, but we'll also be doing it live. So if you can come in on the 3rd, that would be great. I'm still working out the guests for March, but that's okay. If anyone's got anyone in particular or any subject in particular they're really dying to bring into this space, genuinely feel free to write to me and let me know, because that would be really cool, because I'd love some of your suggestions. The final one as well, we're going to do another in-person gathering in March. I'm just finding the date. Oh, there it is. Friday the 24th of March. And that is now live also on the website. I should probably have got the link for that sorted, but if you want to come to that, it's gonna be down in London town at this point, and the other dates for the live London gatherings are also written on the website at this time. So if you're the type of person who likes to know things in advance, here you go. There's the page to get your information. And I was just saying to Bev, we're going to bring back Leamington Spa. We love a bit of Leamington Spa. So if you're Midlands based, some of you are, we'll be doing a live gathering up there as well. I just need to get the dates sorted out. Tom, I can see smiling. It's good for Rachel, I know. Sam, your area, neck of the woods. Rita, on your doorstep. And some of the rest of you as well.
Used to be on my doorstep, Kirsty.
Oh no, you're in Ireland now.
I'm in Ireland. But it gives me an excuse to go back and catch up with everyone.
There you go. Perfect. As with all pods, there is the after party right now. So I'm going to hang out in this room for 15 minutes. So if you want to stay and chat, you are so welcome. Otherwise, this is the formal end of the gathering, of the pod this morning. It was great to have you here. I feel really honoured to have so many people give themselves the time and the space to be here and start their new year, calendar new year. So go well, team. Otherwise, I'm here. And if you want to hang out, you can.